Yo, Counter Attack podcast with myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. Audio listeners, there was something wrong with the uploading platform. So the podcast I did earlier in the week, you guys didn't get that, but hopefully you're hearing this one. If not, then you guys that are watching this, hey, just you guys. But what I did want to say, guys, loving the engagement as we're bringing the year to an end. Thank you for rocking with me this year. If I'm being totally honest, it was a year that started off slow, but I picked up in the back end. And next year we literally just go ham. We literally just go in. And yeah, I've got the fire back for recording and all of that good stuff. So yeah, just keep a lookout on all the different projects and everything that we've got planned and we've got coming for you. So this is going to be another quick one. Just going to quickly just come out and say that Newcastle are out of Champions League. Manchester United are out of Champions League. I'm going to try to not talk so much about United because I'm bored of it. Like, nothing changes every week. And the other day I was mentioning how, in my last pod, I was mentioning how they've just become the go-to to talk about all the time. And yeah, I got nothing more to say about them. What I would say though, is that with the amount of money that they've spent, it's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing, that they couldn't qualify, come out of that group with Galatasaray, Copenhagen and Bayern Munich. Obviously Bayern Munich are Bayern Munich, but the other two, if you can't finish above them in the league, then, I mean in the Champions League table, then in the group stages, then I don't know. And to finish bottom of your group, and I don't want people to think that I just love talking about United, because I really don't. Like, I wish I didn't have to come on this podcast and Man United weren't the hot topics. Like I said, I'm going to stop talking about them, but I have to mention how embarrassing it is that they finished bottom of that group. And you can say what you like about, you know, injuries and whatever. Like, even with injuries, the quality of player that United have, they should never be finishing bottom of a group with Copenhagen and Galatasaray. It shouldn't be happening. And the Bucklers with one person, and all I'm going to say is that is Ten Hag. I'm not going to go any deeper than that. I've done enough talking when it comes to Ten Hag, but it's just not good enough. What I also do want to talk about today is Newcastle. So Newcastle are out now, and I think the bigger thing here for me, what I've noticed is that as much as people want to talk about, you know, it's tough in the Champions League, you know, the midweek games and the weekend games, I don't think people understand that until you're actually there. Obviously, teams that are used to it, you know, City are used to it, Liverpool are used to it. You know, even Arsenal being in Europe, whether it be Europa League or whatnot, like, they're used to it. Maybe not Champions League though. Champions League, I feel like it's a different kind of grind. I feel like Newcastle have really like realized how tough it is, because you're going to these games. So we're talking about PSG, we're talking about AC Milan and Dortmund. All are really, really tough games. Some of the best teams in Europe, and you know, you're fighting for your lives in these games, and you know, they take a lot out of you, and then to go and try and compete the following weekend in the Premier League with teams that are just physical and it's just non-stop relentless for 90 minutes. Like, it's long, and Newcastle have looked recently like they've just been tired and like they've just run out of steam. And you know, as the season goes on, now that they're out of the Champions League, they will get some energy back. They will get some players back, and you know, they will almost get like their second win. I have no like qualms about that. Like, but I think you just have to like really take in how hard it is, and I don't think people realize it. So, and you know, not to bring this back to Arsenal and talk about Arsenal, but I think you have to give credit to Arsenal for finishing top of their group. Do you get what I'm saying? And because people were saying last year that, oh, when Champions League comes, you're not even going to get out of the group stages, you're going to struggle and blah, 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 blah. And yes, we didn't have the hardest of groups, but they did their job, and you just have to, you know, give credit to them. I do want to talk also about PSG now. So PSG, let me look at that group actually, because there's a player that plays for PSG, and people talk about him like he's the man. But you see that Colomwani guy, I'm not having him. I think no, it's not that I'm not having him. I think he's good. I think he's good, but I don't think he's this guy that everyone talks about. 1 second, let me just see this group. Sorry, right. Let's see. So the group finished. Arsenal finished top of the group, obviously. Come on. So PSG finished second, Milan third, Newcastle fourth, and Dortmund first. So yeah, this Colomani, yeah, I think that he's okay, but yeah, when I was watching a game today, and any other time I've seen him play, I've just been a bit underwhelmed with him, and I don't know what it is. Why people? I don't know. I feel like it was his World Cup last year. I feel like that was the moment where a lot of eyes were on him because obviously it's the World Cup, and he was kind of talked up as one of their next up and coming stars on the French conveyor belt. And yeah, I've been watching him, not having him. Who I am liking is Zaire Emery. I think he's going to go on to be a top player. And I was saying this to Scorcher actually, that I genuinely feel like he's one to watch. And when I say one to watch, you get those outliers who are just blatantly good. Like Bellingham is just blatantly good for his age. Gavi, Pedri, whatever. Like all of these players, they're just blatantly good. Whereas Zaire Emery, I honestly believe he's going to go on and have such a really good career. And yeah, I'm having him. But Champions League wrapped up. United should be ashamed. Arsenal finished top of their group. City obviously top of their group. I find it funny, yeah, how I didn't mention this on the last podcast, but it's very cheeky how Pep should be saying how, oh, I feel so sorry for Calvin Phillips. I feel so sorry for him. No, you don't. If you really felt sorry for him, you'd play him. So, and you don't have to play him, obviously, and it's clear to see that he's not having him. But don't do the whole, oh, I feel so sorry for him, and oh, it's so bad. I really wish things were different. No, you don't. You could play him if you really wanted to, but you don't trust him. You're not having him. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just found that very cheeky, and I forgot to mention it on the last podcast. So yeah, what else is there on the agenda outside of Champions League? Reece James injured again, and I feel like Reece James, obviously he's the butt of all the jokes right now. And I totally understand why people do that. But I think that the best ability is availability. I think that's the saying. I don't know. But with all of these injuries that he's having, and he's out for another couple months, and he's spoken openly about how he struggles when he's injured. I honestly hope that he's okay. I feel like he's just on a run of just bad. Like the last year has just been injury after injury, and people were talking about him saying he's finished and all of that. And Reece James will be back, and it's just funny how people just so easily forget just how good players are. And yes, we can talk about how he hasn't been able to show it because of the injury record. That's a separate conversation. But when people write him off, I'm just like, yo, just cut the guy some slack. And it doesn't help that Trent is doing what he's doing right now. And obviously there's that conversation about Trent being the best right back in the world. But yeah, let me see what else is on the agenda. Because this is just so I give you something. Let me go to Fabrizio Romano's timeline and see what's there. It was interesting seeing, guys, if you don't watch the overlap on YouTube, it's Gary Neville's overlap show, but yeah, so it's Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, Jill Scott was there, but I haven't seen it on a couple of episodes, Roy Keane and Ian Wright. Guys, it's honestly the best show / podcast about right now. Honestly, it's so good. And they had Yap Stam on there, and Yap Stam was talking about the team that he was he was playing in. And that team there was no joke. Like when you talk about the one that had the for AC Milan, I'm talking about, and it had Kaka in it, it had Crespo in it, it had Gattuso, Cafu, Maldini, Nesta. Yo, that is a crazy team. Actually, was Maldini there? Or did I make that up? Maldini might not have been there. But yeah, let me quickly see his timeline. Fabrizio Romano. Okay, Donny van der Beek. Eintracht Frankfurt lead the race to sign him on loan. I just don't know what's gone on. What's gone on with him? Like even like when he came, they spoke about him so highly, and he's just never really been able to like push on. So and he looked like a world beater as well at Ajax. So yeah, I don't know what's gone on there. Lazio would like to face Barcelona. So Maurizio Sarri would like to face Barcelona in the last round. It'd be my pick as I've never seen Barca as a coach, and it'd be a wonderful experience. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not afraid of Barcelona. Definitely not. So Zaire Emery, look, 2 man of the match awards in 5 Champions League games for PSG, 4 goals, 5 assists this season. Youngest player to ever feature and also score with French national team. New deal at PSG to be signed soon. He's 17 years old. What a player. Honestly, he's got such a bright future ahead of him. That's my kind of player. You know the players that don't do like... Okay, so Jude Bellingham has always been like my guy over the last couple of years just because they're just ballers, like complete ballers. So now that we're seeing Jude go on to do what he's doing, I'm not surprised because the fundamentals, the basics, these players do well. And that's what I like. I like players that are just pure footballers, where you can see that they've obviously still got some improving to do. They've still got some growing to do and everything. But when you can see that the fundamentals and the basics and the football brain is there, listen, those are the best players, man. I'm telling you. And Zaire Emery has that. And he's going to have a long career. Okay, so pot 1 in... okay, so as an Arsenal fan, the teams we could get, we can't get PSV. Obviously, we played in Copenhagen, Leipzig, Porto, Napoli, Lazio, Inter, PSG. Out of that, I would think that PSG is the one that you'd want to avoid, even though I'm really not afraid of PSG. But I don't think Arsenal should be, scared of any of those teams, to be totally honest. Oh, Napoli reached an agreement with Victor Osimhen. It'll be valid until June 2026, 1 more year. Oh, wow. And the release fee, 130 million euros. Official announcement expected soon. I was not expecting that. I was just thinking that because his contract ran out, I think, in 2025. So at the end of next season, I was just thinking that in the summer, someone's just going to come buy him anyway. So was not expecting that at all. Not really much going on. Oh, Bernd Leno has signed a new deal at Fulham. Okay, till 2027. Big him up. But yeah, there's not really anything happening. Trust my phone to ring at that moment. But yeah, no, guys, that's it. I'm out.